Hey, Case. Something was wrong. I had to end it and restart it. I don't think it was working properly, and I had problems with my headset connecting. So I'm apologize. I'm a little late. Also, Tyler won't be here tonight, so I have his list written down, which I gotta finish doing that. He won't make it tonight, so we'll see if Charlie joins tonight. Let me get his stuff written down. All my fault, probably. Scared Tyler away. He probably won't make it to next Friday's either, he said, so I have both this tonight's and next week's list from him. So just let me write Tyler's down real quick, finishing it. Anyway, how was your week, Case? Week's been fantastic. That's what I like to hear. No, mine's been good. Kind of changed courses for tonight on the other stream. I'm gonna be doing Spyro tonight. Just writing these down. Okay. Okay, now I got Tyler's written up, ready to go. Let's see if anybody else joins, Case, before I do anything, because it would really be disappointing if it's just you and I talking to each other, because then we could just do it, ourselves. I don't know, I'm gonna wait. If nobody shows up tonight, I'll just move it to next week, I guess. So we'll see. Yeah, if Charlie or anybody else doesn't show up, then there's really no point in having the stream tonight. So we're gonna wait out and see who else shows up. Which that would be disappointing if we did have a stream tonight. No, I'm just saying, um, if it's just you and I can just go over it ourselves. Even though I wouldn't do that because let's say nobody does show up. Let's say it's 30 minutes and no one's shown up. I'll probably cancel the stream tonight. We're gonna have to wait till next week. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it just with one person because like I said, you and I could just do it anytime. At that point, it's not worth doing a stream just for us two. I'm hoping Charlie shows up. I know I messed it up. I wasn't on my 6:30 time tonight. Screwed everybody's schedules up. What'd you say? Instead of being on that grind, I guess. I was kind of excited for tonight's stream. but it kind of looks like a flop right now, which I'm hoping not. But it may be, and then we're gonna have to push it till next week, which is kind of, I hope not, because Tyler and I already went over our list with each other. But then let's say this is pushed to next week, and then the following week we do blow up even Razor's Edge. I already know what Tyler's lists are. I don't know. I don't know where anybody's at. It's kind of like a weird. That's like a weird feeling with it tonight. Is everything good on your end? Okay. It just feels like something's got weird tonight. I don't know. I mean, if everything's fine on your end, and I don't need to work. I don't know. It just things weren't. It didn't seem like they were loading properly. So I just want to make sure you guys didn't have any problems on your end of things. So yeah, we'll just wait before I really get into this. But anyway, Case, I guess I can ask you. We can just talk about Flick of the Switch a while, as the album as a whole, until maybe Charlie shows up. I think Flick of the Switch is Brian's Power Age, in my opinion. I think it's a very all around, like, this was a very hard album to rank because every song is really good, you know. I think this is probably one of Brian's best albums, in my opinion. Yeah, it's definitely up there. It would definitely be in the top five, I think, albums completely. Like, out of all of their albums, Flick of the Switch is definitely a top five album of their whole discography. For me, anyway. Like, Fly on the Wall could have been a lot better if it had just a little bit better production. I still don't think the album's bad by any stretch. I mean, there are a few songs I'm not as high on, but I think there's at least good seven, I think, out of the 10 really strong ones off Fly on the Wall. But all 10 on Flick of the Switch are absolutely, with Dirty Deeds being number one, no shot. No shot is that, would that be number one. I don't even know what my number one album would be. We would have, that's something else we're going to do, is we're going to have to rank the albums as a whole, like how we like them. We did the album covers, but we might have to rank the albums at some point too. I think that would be another very interesting debate. Now, I mean, Dirty Deeds would probably be the bottom, but there's probably one other one that would be down with it. But yeah, Flick the Switch is great. Um, I think a lot of the songs they chose to play live. Yes, you did. You did give me good ideas. I wrote them down. What else do I have? I have song openers, the top 25 list, favorite bootleg topic. Um, yeah, I'm gonna write that down just so I don't forget it. Ranking albums. Write that down. But yeah, I think the tour was great. They almost played 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They played 7 out of the 10 live. If you count Nervous Shakedown as being rehearsed, that's probably the most live we're gonna get that song. So realistically, you could count as they did 8 off the album. There's only 2 that they didn't, which is rare for a band, which is rare for them to play a lot of songs off the album. Live at 91, I would 100% rather listen to than River Plate, if that's what you're asking. I used to love River Plate before I got collecting into bootlegs, but now since I have all these different shows. I just prefer obviously audience recording shows than River Plate by any stretch. I think they sound better. They sound more authentic. But the live album, it doesn't have a very amazing, sound outside of the music part. Like there isn't a whole lot of crowd noise. It definitely feels like it was made in like a block. It doesn't seem like the sound goes anywhere. So I mean, if I had to listen to a live album, I think I would listen to live and like the live album that was released in '92 over River Plate by every aspect. I would also listen to it way over If You Want Blood too, because there's stuff on that album too that are not correct. It is. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just all of the live albums are overproduced. But for me, I would just rather listen to the '91 live album than River Plate because it just sounds like live in '92 or '91, however you want to say it, feels like it was recorded inside a cube. Like it doesn't sound like the sound can go anywhere. It just sounds like it's just dead. Dead sound is what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like they're playing in at a concert. It just sounds like they were recording live in a studio, practically. Granted, they weren't because I have all of those tracks on that album with your original audio. River plays mostly just pitch controlling. It's just if you're gonna record a live like album, why don't you just leave it as raw as it can be? Just leave it as it is. I don't think there's any other live albums I'm missing, am I? Am I missing any other like studio or like official live stuff? Like album wise, not like DVDs. I don't think so. I don't know where Charlie's at tonight. This is just weird. Normally he's in here as quick as you are. You're glad that Wrigley got shit canned? Um, I'd be at least interested to see how it was produced. If it was going to be like overdone, which I'm pretty sure it would have been. But if they're going to release this Wembley show from this past year, I'm almost thinking, is that going to be overproduced? I wouldn't mind a Rocker Bus live DVD or something like that. Oh, that's one I forgot. Is Live in Munich in 2001. I don't know how much that one was overdone or underdone or not. I don't know. What's your thought case on that one? It's like a semi-official, I think. Or is it actually officially official that they actually released it? I, I mean, obviously they did. And Circus Crone, but again, those aren't live albums per se. They're just DVDs. Which I mean, basically, River Plate is just the sound from the DVD practically. That's another thing we could talk about is live albums slash official DVDs. I'll write that down too. I forgot about No Bull too. Yeah, that's what I would say. I think Noble, Munich, and Circus Crown are probably the most rawest ones over River Plate by far. I think Noble and Circus, and the Circus Crown still sounds pretty good for 2003. But I would say Noble might be the rawest one. But again, we can get into this conversation later when we actually talk about the live DVDs and such. Um, but I'm pretty sure that I think Noble was probably the closest to raw audio, I would say. Maybe I could be wrong. Because on the backtracks you have Ballbreaker, Hard as a Rock, and something else from that No Bull show. And I don't think it was a audio copy from the DVD, and it sounds almost basically the same. But yeah, let's get back to here. Hopefully Charlie shows up. Brain Shake need to play live. I wouldn't have minded if they played every song, Brain Shake and Deep in the Hole. I think both of them would have been cool to hear at least once, because they only played Landslide once. Tyler, so I didn't go over anything yet because I kind of know your list, but I'm not going to look at your list. Um, Charlie hasn't shown up yet, so kind of Case and I just kind of been bullshitting a little bit to see who else would make it. Um, yeah, Tyler told me he wasn't going to be here for tonight or next week, so it's kind of a surprise that he made it. So I'm glad he made it. Again, I wrote your list down, but I didn't like really look over it a whole lot. And I know I sent you my list, so hopefully you didn't examine them too much either. But anyway, Tyler, how are you? I'm glad you stopped in. You're moving furniture, a lot of it. Oh shit. Well, if you can't stay for the whole thing, at least you made it for a part of it. Well, I mean, if Charlie's not gonna be, if he's not here, I guess us three can just go ahead and start the list if you want. Um, but Tyler, I'm gonna see hear your opinion. Um, how do you think of Flick of the Switch as an album? What's your opinion on the album as a whole? I think it's Brian's Power Age is how I describe it. It's probably in the top five albums of all time of theirs, in my opinion. I don't know where I'd rank it in the top five, but I definitely think it's definitely a top five album. Of all of them, I agree with you. I think it's a really highly underrated album. And it was really hard to rank them because all these songs on this album are amazing. Like this is probably one of the hardest albums to rank because this is a rare occurrence of an album that has no bad songs on it whatsoever. Like there's not one song. Um, so yeah, why don't we just get into it then? Since it's us three, we'll start. Number 10. Number 10, I have Brain Shake. This has always been the one that's always kind of stood out to me as being a little bit different than the rest of them. Like for me, it's not bad by any stretch. I think that has always been like the least favorite of mine, even to this day. Like I have it at number 10. It's not bad. I just I kind of forget about that song sometimes. With that, I mean, I don't like to say I forget, but it's kind of just always been towards the bottom for me. Tyler's got Badlands, and Case has got Deep in the Hole. It's so hard to rank these songs. Um, Fight me, Case. I had to put it somewhere, and I couldn't put nine other songs at number 10, so I had that left Brain Shake for me to put it at the bottom. Um, Case, I mean, I will say one thing about Deep in the Hole. I listened to it the other day for the first time in a long time, and I forgot how good that song actually is. Badlands, I absolutely loved when they played that song live. I thought that fit the set list pretty good. Yeah, you can't. That's the same thing, Case. Like it's hard to put any of these songs at number 10. This whole I It's been a long time since I listened to any studio albums, like start to finish. And like the other day, I listened to Flick of the Switch because I knew this stream was coming up, and I forgot how amazing this song is from start to end. Like there's not one song on this album that I dislike. But that's the hardest part is putting something at 10. I mean, all of our number ones, whatever they may be, I mean, the whole list could be changed just in any order. What's that? Okay, never mind. So yeah, I got Brain Shake at number 10. So okay, so going off your number 10, my number 9 is Deep in the Hole. I feel like I might have ranked it a little bit too low, but I couldn't put it above the rest of them. Deep in the Hole was a really good track, and I kept looking at my list, and I kept looking at it, thinking, can I move this up at and above anything else? And I just couldn't put get myself to put it up higher than 9 because, like I said, I mean this album is amazing. You got Nervous Shakedown at 9. That's kind of super. I'm also curious to see if any of us have any songs the same tonight on either album. Um, Tyler's got Brain Shake at 9. I can't complain at that. Case, I'm kind of surprised you have Nervous Shakedown so low. Actually, I'm not. Based off of what songs I know that you like off the album, I guess I'm not surprised too much that you have Nervous Shakedown at 9, but I figured that would have been like a popular one amongst most of us. Like, to be a little bit higher in the list. I really wish they would have went through with playing Nervous Shakedown. Just a better. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. I do wish they would have played Nervous Shakedown in an actual concert rather than just the rehearsal. But I mean, the rehearsal with Nervous Shakedown is going to be the closest we're going to get to hearing a live version of it. So I'm not going to complain. At least we have that. I think this whole album they could easily play live, like every track. Just eight, but yeah. I love the song too. It's a little higher up on my list, but that's why we do these fun ranking lists. So number 8, I have Landslide. Tyler, are we gonna triple up here? Are we all three gonna have Landslide at 8? That would be a record if all three of us had the same song at one spot. Casey's got Rising Power. So for me to Landslide, I mean, there's nothing bad to say about any of these songs. So my reasonings may not be like fully like long descriptive because this album's so great. Um, you broke the chain. Landslide for me, I mean, I had to put something at 8. And Landslide is a little bit of a faster song, which I don't mind. I wish they would have played it maybe more than once on the tour, just so we could get a little bit more of a taste of it. But at least we're happy that we have at least one. We have the show that it was played at in audio form. I don't think there's any video of Landslide. Rising Power, I think, was a really good intro song to the album. And again, they played that song live as well. I mean, they obviously, from basically here on out, they played every song that we're pretty much going to go over live on the tour. Some obviously way more than others, but Rising Power is a really good one. I have a little bit higher up as well. Just a little bit higher, not too much higher, but it was. I think it's a really good introduction song. I'm glad they didn't, like, for example, I'm glad they put Rising Power as the first track, um, rather than, let's say, Guns for Hire or Flick of the Switch. I'm glad they started off with something like hidden gemish rather than like the like famous two famous songs off the album per se, if that makes sense. I like when albums are started with the not so big hits because then it makes you dig into the album deeper when you're not opened up with, if they opened up with Guns for Hire and then Flick of the Switch was number two on the album, I don't know how many people would have gone farther than that because they were the two that was played live the most. They were, in every concert on that tour. So again, I kind of like I said, I like when albums are opened with a couple more like deeper cuts than like famous ones. So yeah, I can't complain. Tyler and I obviously have Landslide tied at 8. So yeah, number 7 I have the title track, Flick of the Switch. I know I probably have it too low. And these albums are also a little bit shorter. I mean, I guess there are 10 songs. I don't know. This might be a short stream because there's only 3 of us tonight. But number 7, I have Flick of the Switch. Deep in the Hole, it is a very awesome. You mean houses on fire, not houses burning down? Case. But Tyler, yeah, Deep in the Hole is really catchy song. The riff is great. I like the lyrics in it a lot. Case, is this like one of those instances where you don't listen to the song and you forget the title? House of the Rising Sun, but this house is on fire is the correct title. You're just being funny, I'm guessing, right, Case? Yeah, I can't complain with Deep in the Hole. Like I said, I could have probably put it up a couple more slots, but it's just a really good song that I forgot about. Like years of listening to them, that and Brain Shake was always two that I've kind of forgot, and then I go back and I listen to Deep in the Hole the other day, and I'm just like, man, that song's really good. This house is on fire is another really good song off this album. I'm glad they played that song live as well. I don't know about you guys, but obviously playing a song live does the song more justice a lot of the times, but I think, especially with this album, I think all the songs sounded amazing live. Like all the Flick songs were just amazing, in my opinion. Flick the Switch, I guess I never really gave my reasoning. The title track's great. I don't have a problem with it. I just, there's 6 other songs I think I'd get into just a tiny bit more. I shouldn't even say that because I love them all. The Flick of the Switch I felt like was just a really good spot at 7. I don't know if that's too low. Obviously it is since you guys haven't said it yet. But yeah, I got the title track at 7. Number 6, Flick is High for You. I mean, it could be up to the top for any of us. Um, Shakedown Nervousness. Never heard of that one either, Tyler. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna go pretty quick tonight, but I mean, if it is, it is. Um, Number 6, I have Rising Power. Really good song overall. Nervous Shakedown is another really good one. Like I said before, I wish it was played live. But I have Rising Power at number 6. Bedlam. That song is a banger of a song. With Bedlam in Belgium, I love the riff. I love the lyrics, and it's another very catchy song off the album. I really wish I had more than just two audio copies of Bedlam. I don't think there's any more out there, is there? Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't know any other boots with Bedlam in it other than two, right? The only two I had. Wait a minute. I'm an idiot. I just checked my list. I have five with Bedlam in it. Well, where are the rest of them at? I don't remember listening to those. Shit. I'm an idiot. My bad. Yeah, there's five. Um, New York, Uniondale, East Rutherford, Toronto, Montreal. Well, I will back up what I just said. There's apparently five. I don't remember those boots for whatever reason, unless I lost them. I hope I didn't. If I did, I might have to come and find them. I have to check that out. But anyway, Bedlam is great. Nervous Shakedown is great. Rising Power. I thought, again, Landover, if you count that, on December 12th. Oh, yeah, I do. That's on the, was that the Plug Me In, DVD? The one that we have, like, a really good quality of it? Yep, okay. So, yeah, we can count six. We have six known audio copies of Bedlam, which is just an amazing song. I love the guitar part, though. Now, the top five is when it gets really, like, things could switch around depending on the mood, depending on the day, depending on the week, depending on the year. I mean, it could change. I mean, any of these songs could change. Um, my number five is Nervous Shakedown. I think Nervous Shakedown it's a slower song, which in past history in these rankings, I never cared for the slower not so good lands. Badlands is a banger. Title track at five, that's respectable. But I know you guys know that previously in these rankings, I never cared for some of the slower stuff, but I think Nervous Shakedown does a little bit of a slower tone very well. I think it definitely fits the song. I don't think I could have pictured Nervous Shakedown being a faster song, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's not even that slow, though. Like, it's slower. It's not slow like Ride On or Night Prowler, but it's definitely a really good, slower song for sure. Title track deserves top five at least. Sorry, Case, I have it at seven. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the title track by any stretch. There's just some songs I just preferred more, obviously. What'd you guys say again? Case said, or Tyler said Flick of the Switch, and Case said Badlands. Tyler, I'm actually surprised you had Badlands at 10. Actually, while we're talking about, since Case said about Badlands, I only have four audio tracks of Badlands, and one of the shows aren't even a full. I don't even have a full set list for the one. I mean, that's understandable. It was just one song that I figured you would have higher, but that's why we go over these lists. What'd you say, Case? I'm deaf. Why am I deaf? Because I have Flick of the Switch at number seven. Yeah, I like Badlands a lot as well. I really do. I'm glad that we have some live audio of it though. Like I said, I only have four. I think there's only four known copies of it, in St. Paul, Rosemont, Cincinnati, and Roanoke are obviously the two more known ones. Um, Hopefully, I'll get some of those uploaded at some point again. But I think I want to try to upload most of the Monsters of Rock from '84 first, and then I'll come back to '83 and doing some of the other like hits and misses of some of the Flicks songs. Don't get me wrong, yeah, Flick at 7. Sorry, Case. But yeah, my number 5 again was Nervous Shakedown, really good. I just couldn't put it higher than 5. Number 4, I have Bedlam in Belgium. Really strong song, like I said. I'm gonna put a star next to Landslide, just so I know that Tyler tied with me. I need to keep track of that. Tyler's got This House is on Fire at 4. I like that. I think that's more respectable than what Case put it at. I have a feeling, Case, you have Landslide at 4. Very, very nice. I like the respect that Landslide's getting higher in the list. Um, I have a feeling that I have a feeling Case and Tyler might have the same number 1. But I'm not sure. But yeah, Bedlam in Belgium, that song's lyrics, if you actually dive into the history of those lyrics, was it true that did like Brian, when he said he got a crack in the back with a gun and he could feel the blood run, did Brian actually get hit by something in Belgium at one point? Is that how they wrote the song? Like, did they actually get attacked or something? I mean, it definitely has some strong lyrics to it. And I know when Brian, I think the lyrics, Bedlam was based on a concert in '77. Interesting. So, part of the lyrics that I know said that there was a curfew in town, they'd be working overtime. So did they like go past, like did their show go past the time that they were supposed to be in it, and like the police were like were like beating them with like gun stocks and stuff? I don't even think that show exists in '77 in Belgium. Because I surely don't have anything. October 9th? Um, Let me do some research real quick. I'm kind of curious. Let me look this up. So October 9th played a concert at some sports hall in Belgium as part of their high voltage tour. The concert was marred by a riot that involved the band's crew, the police, and the audience. Was delayed due to a power issue. A riot broke out. Police attempted to stop the show. There's a large brawl between the band's crew, police, and the audience. The incident was later described in the 1983 song Bedlam in Belgium. Huh. I never knew that, to be honest with you guys. So it happened during the high voltage tour? That can't be right. Because Cliff Williams was on bass. That's what it says. Interesting. So it sounds like a riot broke out because this concert was delayed because the police were trying to stop it. And it looks like the boys' crew and the audience were trying to fight the police. Tyler, yes, you were right. You're never wrong. I mean, you're always right on this history shit. But I looked up October 9th, 1977 AC/DC, and it came up as that was the day that Bedlam in Belgium was written about. I'm surprised I didn't write a song about that like the next, like on Power Age or something. But yeah, you're right, Tyler. Yet again, you are correct. So yeah, that was kind of a little bit of an interesting history piece of that. I've been wrong. I know. I'm sure you've been wrong about something, but it seems like every time you say something in my streams, you're like dead on, which I'm glad you are, because then that helps me learn some stuff. Um, but yeah, I never knew that's. I thought it happened during the flick of this, like during like For Those About to Rock or something, for them to write a song like the next year. But it was during '77. Interesting. So I bet I'm assuming then Malcolm and Angus definitely had a lot of personal feel into those lyrics, obviously. Since Brian wasn't there, I wonder. Anyway, I could go on and talk about Bedlam in Belgium's history, but I'm not going to bore you guys about that. But yeah, that's my number 4. Number 3, I have Badlands. Badass song. Live just sounds so much harder, I think, for Badlands. Like, it just sounds so good live. Tyler's got Rising Power at number 3. Can't complain with that one either. I'm probably going to have to go back and listen to the Flick of the Switch tonight after the stream because it's just so good. Case, what you got number 3? The thing with me, the reason I also have, did he leave? I don't know, unless Case got distracted by something. Um, but talking about Badlands at number 3, for me, once, like, obviously I heard the song on the album, but once I got that first boot from Cincinnati, and I heard Badlands live, like, it opened my eyes up. Like, man, some of these Flick songs are just absolutely amazing when you actually hear them like live, then you go back and listen to the studio and be like, yeah, that song, and that's what made me have it up so high. Now, again, some of these songs could have went lower if they weren't played live for me, and that's just my own personal feeling. Um, like for example, if Badlands wasn't played live, it probably would have been down a couple more spots. Bedlam probably would have went to number 3. Deep in the Hole probably could have went up a little bit more. It's just so hard. But for me, a song being played live really helps me in the long run, like love a song, if that makes sense. Case is back, and he's got Flick at number 3. Oh, Case, all this talk, I figured you'd have Flick at number 1, saying that it needs to be in the top 5 at minimum. I figured you would have had that thing at number 1. He's back in black. Nah, he's more like back in business. We'll talk about that song here in a little bit. Yeah, that's to come. You're right, it is. Um, so yeah, that's a respectable place for Flick of the Switch. Case. Wish I could have put it higher. Um, I just like a lot of the some deeper cuts better. But yeah, I can't disrespect Flick at 3, and I can't disrespect Rising Power at 3. I probably would have put it higher as well, but for me, Badlands is number 3. I've always loved the song. I've always like gravitated towards Badlands. I haven't loved it at a younger age. I've always seemed to like that song. But yeah, I got Badlands at number 3. Um, so there's really not much to say about this album because the songs are so good. Number 2, I have Guns for Hire at number 2. Probably one of the best intro to song introductions to a concert that there is. Which we are gonna get into a song intro stream at some point. Case, you have Guns for Hire at number 2 as well. We're tied. I'm putting a star. We almost all tied at number two. You went Bedlam at number two. Yeah, that is a really good song. I think Guns for Hire. The, I mean, listening to that song, it's especially live. Whenever it's like the build up, and Angus is like playing the didn't didn't, and then he goes on like a little bit of a solo, and he like toys with the crowd almost. It seems like before the concert starts, and then he breaks down into it. That song is so amazing as an intro. Yeah, Gunfire could have been number one for me as well, if I didn't like this specific song so much. But I think Guns for Hire probably could be one of the best concert openers, in my opinion. Which, like I said, we're gonna do a stream about song openers or concert openers, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna do a stream on that too at some point when we get done ranking the songs. I know we're gonna do a album ranking stream at some point, just ranking the albums in general, and a couple other ideas I have written down here. But yeah, Guns for Hire could have been number one. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about Guns for Hire. It's amazing. Um, so we can go to number one since Tyler kind of just said it's his. So Tyler has. So my number one is "This House Is on Fire." I love the riff in the song a lot. Like I love the sound of it when it first starts. I've always loved that song. Case, I knew you were gonna have Brain Shake at one because that was one of the songs that you absolutely just always loved. You kept telling me about Brain Shake. I should have known that. But yeah, Case absolutely loves Brain Shake. It's completely opposite of where I had it. But for me, This House Is on Fire. I've always loved that song. It's always been. I think it was like the first song I heard off the album, so it immediately I just loved it as soon as I heard it, and to this day it has a special place in my heart of music. Does he now? Apparently, it's all in all caps, so he really does like Brain Shake for sure. He loved the riffy sounding. Oh, now I'm gonna have to figure out what SAL stands for again. Shake a leg. That's what it is. It does sound similar to Shake a Leg Case. I never even thought about that. Yeah, you like the more like riffy, quick sounding stuff. I think I'm getting that sense that you like faster stuff. Why would I be mad at you? I knew Brain Shake was going to be at least in the top three. I just didn't know if you had it at one or not. Um, yeah, for me, This House Is on Fire is my number one. It's my favorite song off the album, and hearing that song live for the first time was also very like it set me back when I first heard it. I was just like, my eyes got big when I heard. I just love, again, I love the riff and the guitar sound of House Is on Fire. That was a pretty good list. You guys had some really good songs up front. Overall, I can't be upset with it where you guys put anything. Now, I think when we get to Fly on the Wall now, there's going to be some songs I feel like we're all going to have pretty similar towards the bottom. I have a feeling. And I feel like our top couple might also be pretty similar. Um, so, what's your opinions, both of you, on Fly on the Wall as an album as a whole? You know, you're probably right, Tyler. We probably will be surprised. You've surprised us many times before. But yeah, Fly on the Wall. If it was produced just a little bit better, I think it would have been a lot better. for like people who don't know the album as much. Some stinkers. Yeah, there's probably about two to three that I was never really keen on, and I still don't really listen to those songs to this day. Now, granted, again, I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate an AC/DC song because it's just not gonna happen. I don't ever hate any song. Um, but I'm curious to see how big of an album it could have been. Let's say, even if they produced it themselves, like Flick of the Switch. If Fly on the Wall had the same kind of production as Flick of the Switch, I think Fly on the Wall could be a little bit better rated. Tyler, don't look at my list, remember? Especially like I haven't looked at your list since the stream since you popped in, so I'm not even gonna look at it. Um, Brian sounds like he's shouting from down the hallway. He is harder to hear, for sure, and you can't really make out sometimes what he's saying. So like if I like get into the song, if I'm like singing as badly as I do, you took a peek. I kind of just make shit up that sounds right, especially on this album. And half the time, there's some songs that aren't produced bad that I still can't tell what Brian's saying. Um, so I just make shit up that sounds similar to it, and I just go with it. That's kind of just what I do. There's three shitty songs. I'm gonna say there's about two and a half. The third one, depending on the day, is how I feel about it. But there's at least two that are kind of just there. I think for me. Um, so yeah, let's get into Fly on the Wall. Number 10, I have Send for the Man. I never could get into the song. It's not bad. I mean, I don't. I mean, you guys might think it's bad, but I can't sit here and say I dislike it. It's just not one of the few that I listen to. Send for the Man is number 10. It has just a weird feel to it. Oh, we all three tied at number 10. Let's go. I'm putting a 2 star beside that one. Um, So we all three tied at number 10. Send for the Man. It has like a weird feel to it. Like I never really cared for it either. I feel like it's definitely like they rushed it. I feel like the song was kind of just thrown in um to complete the album. Like I haven't gone back and listened to Send for the Man like in a long, 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 long time. It's just not it's not strong. I mean, there's probably a good 7 strong songs on this album, and there's probably about two and a half half-assed weak ones. I honestly can't think of the lyrics on Send for the Man other than Brian saying Send for the Man. Like, I can't think of how the song goes. It's been that long since I've listened to it. I know you don't. I like to be a little bit more nicer about things. You guys may just say it's complete dog shit, and that's fine. Um, just because I don't like to say I hate something from the guys that I love the most, you know? The band that I love the most. You know, I don't like to. That's what hurts the song is the lyrics. Yeah, it's like I don't remember what the hell the songs even like the lyrics are. Like all I hear in my head is Brian singing "Send for the Man" and then they shout something. You know, the guitars sound fine. Like I don't mind the guitar part in "Send for the Man." The lyrics really just bring the song down to where I don't want to listen to it. If it comes on shuffle, I'm not going to skip it, but I'm not going to sit and be like, yeah, I'm going to listen to Send for the Man. Like, if you told someone that was an AC/DC song, they'd probably just look at you. Like, what are you talking about? The riff isn't great. I don't mind it. Only because I think the album has a lot of heaviness to it, so I don't mind a lot of the riffs on the album, but there are about two and a half songs that I feel like are kind of could be forgettable. So I'm glad we all tied on that one. Um, Number 9, I have Hell or High Water. I used to like the song when I was younger. Then the older I got, the more and more I kept pushing it down the list because I'm just like, it's not super wonderful. Case, we tied again. That's two in a row that we've tied. Case, could we have a perfect fly on the wall album list between you and I? Tyler's got Back in Business. See, I think Back in Business is one of the better songs. Now, it's not the top song, but I do think Back in Business is definitely at least in the top seven good ones. Like for me. We've never had lists this similar. No, we haven't, Case. And I'm thinking we might be pretty on with this one. I think. Could be. But yeah, for me, Back in Business for me is a little bit higher. But I can see why you put it at 9, Tyler. It's still like not like in the top 5 category. But I definitely think it's better than Send for the Man and Hell or High Water, at least for me. Okay, so I'm assuming you're probably very similar with number 9 as I am. It just kind of is there. It's not like super strong. It's just kind of. Again, I don't remember the lyrics in that song either, other than saying hell or high water like 5 times before the chorus stops. Yeah, it's just. It's definitely what you would classify as a filler song, I think. 100%. Um, Number 8. I have Stand Up. This is when I say a half. Like when I say 2.5, Send and Hell are definitely the two. Stand Up is half. Because there's certain times where I don't mind the song, and there's other times where Stand Up is kind of just like, eh, it could have been better. So I'm kind of have like a love hate relation. Yes, this is where we drift, Case. 100%. I have like a love hate relationship with Stand Up. Like I love it at times, and there's other times where I just don't care for it. So, Case, you got Danger at 8, which is kind of surprising. No, no, Tyler, you weren't. I mean, I can see why you have Danger low, Case. I mean, I don't have it much super higher. Um, it is interesting they added Danger to the little video clips that they recorded on like the VHS and whatever else was on there. I actually have that VHS tape of the Fly on the Wall clips, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, but it's interesting they included Danger for that. Yeah, Tyler, I'm assuming that's just another weak one, I guess, for you. Same how like we had Hell at 9. But Stand Up, like I said, I have a love hate relationship with Stand Up. I just there's days where I don't mind it, and there's other days where I'm just like, if I never listen to it again, I'm not gonna be upset, type of thing. Number 7, I have Back in Business. I think this is where the album really starts getting good. I think Back in Business is a really strong middle of the pack song. Case, you would do that too, wouldn't you? Tyler's got First Blood at 7. Wow, Case and Tyler both have First Blood at number 7. Good job. You got see this is where my list is completely unneeded with the rest of you guys. Because it's just gonna be a mess from here on out. But I think Back in Business is a really good song. The more and more I thought about it, I'm like, I can't put it higher than the other three, but I can definitely put it higher than some. But there's definitely, obviously, there's 6 better songs, in my opinion, that are better than it. So let me ask you guys this: how did you feel about First Blood being played live? At least, yeah, this is basically from 7 onward was where the album gets good. Um, I kind of wish they would have kept First Blood in the set list. I just wish I had a better quality of it. So number 6, I guess we can move on. Um, Number 6, I have First Blood, so I didn't have it too farther off than you guys. Um, it's just not. It's just a really good. I think it's a really nice middle of the album song. Tyler's got Stand Up at 6. I'm only starring the songs that I have tied with you guys. Okay, so Case, you and I just had Back in Business and First Blood switched. So I can't really argue with that now. Now that I know that you have Back in Business just 1 higher and I have First Blood 1 higher than you do. Yeah, we pretty much just switched 6 and 7. So realistically, Case, we only basically had number 8 off, per se. I think back in, like, we can count that we're pretty similar so far. Um, yeah. Did I say 6? Yeah, 6. Stand Up. I just could never get into that song a whole lot. I think the chorus for me brought Stand Up down a little bit. I like the rest of the song a lot. Yeah, same. Like, First Blood and Back in Business are just 2 songs that could probably have gone either direction. And then the top 5 is where things really get good. I think the top 5 song is probably the best 5 off the album, which obviously I think most of us are all going to have the 3 big ones. I think we're going to have the 3 big ones at least in the top. Obviously, we're going to have the 3 big ones in the top 5. We might have most of the big 3 in the top 3 even. Who knows? Guess we'll see. You weren't big on stand up, but you gave it another chance. That's fair. I couldn't get into it as much as you can, Tyler. It's just I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate you having it at 6 because it could go up in 6. Certain days it definitely could go higher. It's okay. So let's start the top 5. Number 5, I have Playing with Girls. Very interesting song title, I guess I should say. It's definitely one of those what the song clearly is about when they make their wonderful song titles and what their songs are about. Obviously, we all know their songs are about 3 things: women, drinking, or rock and roll. But I think Playing with Girls is a really strong song, 100%. It was good live. I wish they would have played that song a little bit more than just once along with First Blood. but I think they were kind of just treading the waters to see how it would fit, and maybe they didn't think that it fit a whole lot in the set. Case has got Shaker Foundations, which is debatable. And Tyler has Danger at number 5, which I don't hate that either. Danger is a really good song. Case, did you already say Danger? I can't remember. I gotta scroll back. Yeah, you had First Blood. Oh yeah, you had Danger at 8. I think Tyler and I like it just a little bit better than you do. Um, I think Playing with Girls is a just strong, heavy song for sure. Number 4, I have Danger. So Tyler, I wasn't far off of you. Danger, most people probably wouldn't like it, but when I go back and think about some of the songs I might have heard when I was younger, I still have this vivid memory of being with my dad in his old truck back when I was a lot younger, and I swear I heard Danger on the radio. And once I heard Danger for the first time, that's what brought me back that memory. So then every time I hear Danger, I think back and think, did I really hear this song on the radio? Because I remember the chorus playing, and I think that was my first time I've heard them without knowing it was them, if that makes sense. Tyler's got title track at number 4. Case, you have Stand Up. Of course you do. I'm surprised you didn't change it to 1 because I disliked it so much. I find it so interesting and so fun to see how all three of our tastes are, and Charlie when he's here. Hopefully he joins next week for, I think, one of the most best 80s albums probably made and blow up your video, but hopefully he joins next week for that. And we will talk briefly, by the way, next week about Who Made Who. We'll talk about that, like the three songs that were original. Um, do we have 4 and 8 swapped? 8 I had Stand Up, and I have Danger. You had Danger at 8, and you have Stand Up at 4. So yes, we had 4 and 8 flip flopped. Yes, which shows me that you and I both can't stand each other's favorite, pretty much. Yeah, I think Danger is just a really strong one. But yeah, we're gonna get into, like I said, next week. Before we get into blow up your video rankings, we will talk briefly about Who Made Who, about obviously the title track, Chase the Ace, and DT. And between blow up your video and the Razor's Edge, we will talk about the three songs that were not included on the albums that were on backtracks as well. So like we'll talk about Borrowed Time, Down the Borderline, and Snake Eye once we get to next week. But I just want to let you guys know that we are going to cover briefly Who Made Who, and then between Blow Up Your Video and Razor's Edge, those 3 songs that were not included on an album. So the top 3, it's probably very easily to identify what my 3 are going to be. My number 3 is Sink the Pink. Casey's got Playing with Girls at number 3. Tyler's got Shake Your Foundations, which is more respectable than what Case had at number 5. I think that's almost a disrespect to that song. So funny thing about Sink the Pink, the first time I heard Sink the Pink and Shake Your Foundations, actually both of them, the first time I heard them was on the Who Made Who album, thinking that's when the song was made. And then it wasn't later until I was discovering the rest of their music that I heard it on Fly on the Wall. Which is one thing I want to ask you, Tyler. I don't know if you may know this, or Case, both of you. Why did, when they moved Shaker Foundations, and Sink the Pink to Who Made Who, I think they cut off a little bit of the intro, like they kind of cut them shorter right off the start. And it doesn't sound as heavy on Who Made Who. Like Shaker Foundations don't have that like the drum like sound to them, the heaviness. And with Sink the Pink, I think they changed a little bit on there too. I don't remember. But, like I said, when I first heard it on Who Made Who, I'm like, oh, these are original. And then I heard Fly on the Wall, and then I realized that they were not on Who Made Who originally. I love the Fly on the Wall versions better. Tyler, I'm pretty sure like Shaker Foundations, they shortened it up. I think. Maybe Sink the Pink maybe wasn't touched, but Shaker Foundations, I'm pretty sure, didn't have that little bit of an extra bit like it does on Fly on the Wall. But I might be crazy. Speaking of that, I actually have four singles, actually, from the album. I have the 7-inch and the 12-inch versions of Shake Your Foundations. I have the 12-inch white um, cover of Danger, the one with the big red triangle with the exclamation point on it, with the fly. I have one of those. I have another one, which I thought about doing as a giveaway, but part of me wants to keep two copies of it. And I also have a 7-inch version of Danger with Back in Business that looks basically like the regular album cover with the wood panels and the fly. Actually, I'll go back and mention I do have two singles from Flick of the Switch too. By the way, I have the 7-inch Nervous Shakedown that basically looks like the '74 Jailbreak cover, and I have the 7-inch Guns for Hire with Landslide that practically is the Flick of the Switch cover. I just thought I think that'd be cool just to put in there. I do have a lot of shit. But I don't know. Like I said, I thought about doing the Danger album as a giveaway, along with one of my Through the Mist of Times picture discs that I got. I think I bought like 3 or 4 of them on that record store day because I didn't know if I was gonna get one, so I just bought a couple of them. I don't know if I want to like part with one though. I don't know. Anyway, I have Sink the Pink at 3. Number 2, I had the title track, Fly on the Wall. I thought that was really nice that they. Oh, Case, you and I tied again. We have 3 ties on this album. The tie, Lipster. You're right. That's 3 ties on this album that Case, you and I have had, which I think is the most ties I think we've ever had. So don't get used to it, because I'm sure the rest of the albums we're not going to come close to 3 ties. But Fly on the Wall, really good title track, really nice opening song on the album. I also do like that they opened with Fly on the Wall. I thought that was a really nice choice to open up with. And I also am glad that they brought it during the Who Made Who tour as well. I think they played Fly on the Wall, and then they played She's Got Balls, I think, on Who Made Who tour. Or was it the other way? Or did they play She's Got Balls and then Fly on the Wall? I'm pretty sure they played Fly on the Wall first, and then She's Got Balls after that. Which again, that was a really nice surprise to see on the Who Made Who tour that they brought that song back, which I think Brian did really good on it. Definitely our most similar album ranking, 100% Case, 100%. But yeah, Fly on the Wall is great. Great title track, great opening song for the tour. Oh, that's another thing I want to ask. Tyler, do you happen to know why late in '86 they took Sink the Pink out of the set list? Like they like cut on time on some of those venues and they took it out. But I'm pretty sure like late in the Fly on the Wall tour they took Sink the Pink out. But I could be wrong. Not sure. Yeah, I just thought it was a weird thing of why they would take it out. Anyway, I'm crazy. Um, and number one is for always, forever going to be my number one. Off the album is "Shake Your Foundations." I really love that song the best. Really, I love the big three a lot. "Sink the Pink," "Fly on the Wall," "Shake Your Foundations" are probably the best three on the album for me. But "Shake Your Foundations" I've always loved a lot. I think my favorite version to this day of "Shake Your Foundations," bootleg wise, is Wembley, January 17th in '86. I think is my favorite version so far. If I had to pick a favorite, I think Wembley. That show in general is a really nice fly on the wall show to begin with. You have Playing with Girls at one. That is actually surprising, Tyler. I don't think I would have expected you to put that song at number one. But I don't hate it, if that makes sense. It really is a great song. I just couldn't put it at one because Shake Your Foundations has always been my number one off the album. Great list tonight. I was really excited. Yeah, Sink the Pink is also really good. I was really excited for tonight. Flick of the Switch was really a hard album to rank. You have Sink the Pink at one case, and again, I don't hate it. If I didn't love Shake Your Foundations as much as I do, Sink the Pink could have probably been number one. I just wish on Fly on the Wall that whole tour, I wish there was a few shows that they brought something else in, but really the only the only shows that had any like uniqueness to it was at the very beginning when they played First Blood, Playing with Girls, and then the first four shows they had Have a Drink on Me, and the rest of the tour was pretty much exactly the same. Thanks for showing up, Tyler. I appreciate it. Glad to see you. What, Sink the Pink case? Sink the Pink, yeah, it is really good. Um, so yeah, that kind of finishes up tonight's stream. It's a little bit more of a shorter stream, but not all of them are going to be 2 hours long, especially for these album rankings. Um, they're not gonna take super long. So next week, next Friday, the 24th, as long as I don't have to be out with weather and snow and things like that, we're gonna cover Blow Up Your Video on the Razor's Edge, which means we have two, four, five. Let's see, one, two, three. We got four more album ranking streams left to go, and then we would have covered all of them. It is strange, but it does give me nostalgia. I mean, that's fair. I mean, you don't have to be. I wasn't born before most of their albums. I mean, the only albums that came out after I was born was Stiff Upper Lip, Black Ice, Rocker Bust, and Power Up. Those are the only four. I've only lived through four albums actually released, and I only really remember two of them actually being released. I don't remember Stiff Upper Lip or Black Ice. I do remember Rocker Bust, and I really do remember Power Up, obviously. I can't believe that song is this October is gonna be 5 years old already. It's crazy. But yeah, next week we're gonna cover shortly Who Made Who, Blow Up Your Video, and The Razor's Edge. We'll cover them on Friday, and then hopefully the following week it'll be Ballbreaker, Stiff Upper Lip, which I think by that point is when it really gets fun for me because basically from Ballbreaker onward is my favorite era of music, as always. And then obviously Black Ice I think might be just by itself because it is a 15 song album. And then obviously after Black Ice we will do a Rocker Bust and Power Up album ranking. And Case, shut up about Rocker Barf. That's not what it is, okay? I like the album a lot more than you do. I know you were only alive for the Rocker Bust and Power Up. I get it. Anyway, Case, I'll see you in a little bit on my other streams. Give me about a half hour. I gotta do some other things real quick before I start up there again. Um, but with this, we're gonna end the stream here tonight, and hopefully, I will see some of you back here next Friday to cover the next two albums.